Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between rolling hills, there lived a cat named Mr. Whiskers. Now, Mr. Whiskers wasn't your average house cat. Oh no, he was a connoisseur of fine nap spots, a master of knocking things off shelves, and most notably a highly skeptical critic of magic tricks. One fateful evening, a traveling magician named Reginald the Magnificent arrived in town. His reputation had preceded him. He was known far and wide for his ability to pull rabbits out of hats, levitate grand pianos, and make entire houses disappear. The townsfolk were buzzing with excitement, and Mr. Whiskers, ever the cynic, couldn't be bothered. "It's all sleight of paw," he scoffed, curling up on the windowsill. Reginald, unaware of Mr. Whiskers' disdain for all things magical, set up his stage in the town square. He was ready for his big performance. The audience gathered, excited to see his spectacular show. Mr. Whiskers, however, had a more important mission. He was on a quest for the perfect sunbeam, which was conveniently located right next to Reginald's stage. As Reginald began his act, he waved his hands dramatically, pulled colorful scarves from his sleeves, and made flowers appear out of thin air. But Mr. Whiskers, completely uninterested, yawned and stretched out in the sunbeam, ignoring the crowd and their gasps of awe. His tail flicked lazily, swatting at a stray butterfly. Then the moment came that would change everything. Reginald announced his grand finale, "And now, ladies and gentlemen, I will levitate this very table." He raised his hands high, his eyes narrowing in concentration. The audience leaned in, holding their breath, and then it happened. Just as Reginald muttered the magic words and began to lift the table, Mr. Whiskers, with his impeccable timing, decided it was the perfect moment to hop onto the table. With one graceful leap, he landed square in the middle of the levitating table, giving it an indignant swat. The table, now utterly confused, plummeted back to the ground with a loud thud. The audience went silent. Reginald's eyes widened in horror. Mr. Whiskers looked up from his new perch, gave a disdainful flick of his tail, and then began licking his paw as if nothing had happened. The crowd burst into laughter, but Reginald was not amused. "This is a catastrophe," he muttered, trying to salvage his act. "You, sir, are a distraction." But Mr. Whiskers wasn't done. He stood up, stretched, and with an air of supreme confidence, walked straight up to Reginald's hat. With a single, dramatic swat, he knocked it off his head, sending it rolling across the stage. The magician, desperate to regain control, picked up the hat and tried to salvage his dignity. Well, it seems we have a little critic in the audience," he said, trying to sound professional. "But no one can resist the charms of magic for long." But Mr. Whiskers, now the undisputed star of the show, had other plans. With a flick of his tail, he casually sauntered off the stage and disappeared into the crowd, leaving Reginald standing there, staring at the audience. The townspeople erupted in applause, not for Reginald's magic, but for Mr. Whiskers, the true master of the night. Reginald, defeated but amused, took a bow. "I suppose magic is not the only thing that can steal the show," he admitted. As for Mr. Whiskers, he spent the rest of the evening in his favorite sunbeam, napping contentedly, while the townsfolk continued to whisper about the cat who had single-handedly destroyed a magic show.